Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you're talking to someone but you're not exactly dating, yet it feels more serious than just friends? Welcome to the talking stage, a modern relationship phenomenon that has become both a rite of passage and a source of endless confusion. In this video, we're going to break down how the talking stage became so complicated, exploring its history, its place in modern dating culture, and why it's such a double-edged sword. Dating has always had clear stages in the past: courting, dating, engagement, and marriage. There was a clear progression, a roadmap almost that you could call it, that society followed. But as times changed, so did the way people approached relationships. The rise of casual dating in the mid-20th century began to blur these stages, and soon, people found themselves in relationships without ever really defining them. The introduction of online dating and hookup culture in the late 90s and early 2000s further blurred the lines, making it even harder to distinguish between friendship, romance, and everything in between. Enter the talking stage, which emerged in the early 2010s, largely driven by the rise of social media and dating apps. It's that phase where two people are getting to know each other romantically, but haven't defined the relationship. No labels, no commitment, just a lot of texting and wondering if things will progress. It was born out of the need to test the waters, to feel something before diving into something more serious. But as simple as it sounds, it's become one of the most confusing and complicated stages in modern dating. So, why is the talking stage so complicated? First and foremost, it's all about ambiguity. The talking stage is a gray area, where two people might be spending time together, sharing personal details, and even getting emotionally attached, but there's no clear definition of what they are. Are they friends? Are they dating? Are they just casually talking? The lack of clarity leads to mismatched expectations, with one person possibly thinking they're heading towards something serious, where the other might just be enjoying the attention. This ambiguity makes the talking stage feel like a waiting game, where you're constantly questioning what's next. Another major factor is the fear of rejection. In the talking stage, people are hesitant to express their true feelings because they're unsure of where the other person stands. There's a constant fear of scaring the other person away by being too forward or expressing too much interest. So, instead of addressing feelings head-on, people tend to prolong the talking stage, hoping that the other person will make the first move or, at the very least, give a clear sign of interest. This fear of rejection often leads to indecision and a lack of communication, which only makes things more complicated. On top of that, we live in a world where texting and social media are the primary modes of communication. This has created a breeding ground for overthinking and analysis paralysis. Every text, emoji, and message is scrutinized for hitting meetings. Did they take too long to respond? Does the way they say LOL mean something? Should I text them first or wait? These constant questions can lead to unnecessary stress and confusion, making the talking stage feel like a never-ending cycle of overthinking and second-guessing. Lastly, the talking stage is complicated because it's often a reflection of our modern dating culture. We're living in an era where instant gratification is the norm, and relationships are often seen as disposable. People are hesitant to commit because they're worried they might miss out on something better. The talking stage becomes a way to keep options open while trying to figure out if the person you're talking to is the right one, but in doing so, it creates unnecessary delays in making a decision. The talking stage has become complicated because it's a mixture of uncertainty, fear, rejection, overthinking, and the pressures of modern dating culture. It's a phase that was meant to help people get to know each other better, but instead, it often leaves people stuck in a loop of confusion, unsure of what they want or where things are headed. The talking stage isn't inherently bad, but it's clear that the lack of clear communication and expectations is what makes it so complicated. If we could all just be more upfront about our intentions and feelings, maybe we could skip the confusion and get to the good part, actually dating. Now, you may be wondering, why do we even need the talking stage in the first place? Why not just go straight to dating or even skip the formalities and get to the point? Well, part of the reason the talking stage exists is it offers sort of a safety net. It's a way to test compatibility without fully diving into something serious. It allows people to explore their feelings, build a connection, and gauge interest before committing. In theory, it's a great idea. No pressure, just getting to know someone at a comfortable pace. Another reason the talking stage has become so common is because of the influence of dating apps. In the past, meeting someone organically through friends, work, or social settings, something you get to know them in person, gauge chemistry, and see where things naturally went. But with dating apps, everything is accelerated. Swiping left or right, chatting with multiple people at once, it's all very transactional. The talking stage becomes a buffer, a way to slow things down before making any real decisions. But this process of swiping and chatting can feel detached, and it can be hard to tell if you're talking to someone who's genuinely interested in building a relationship or just looking for something casual. And let's not forget about the impact of social media. Social media has added a whole new level of complexity to the talking stage. With platforms like Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, we're constantly seeing updates from the people we're talking to. A simple like or comment can carry so much weight. What does it mean when they like your post but don't text back for hours, or post a story when someone else haven't mentioned you at all? Social media makes it harder to read between the lines because we're constantly comparing our interactions to what we see online. It can create a sense of insecurity and confusion, especially when people are trying to navigate the talking stage without clear communication. Another challenge that arises is the timing of the talking stage. In today's fast-paced world, people are juggling careers, school, friendships, and other commitments. Finding time to connect with someone during the talking stage can feel like a balancing act. You might text each other every day, but when that one person gets busy and the other feels like they're being ignored, or one person might want to move faster but the other person is still trying to figure out if they're even interested. Timing can make or break the talking stage, and when things don't align, it can lead to frustration and disappointment. The talking stage also becomes complicated when one person is ready to move forward, but the other isn't. So there's this communication breakdown that often happens, and one person may feel like they've invested enough time and enough energy into the connection to make things official, but the other person may still be holding back, unsure about their feelings. And this can create tension and confusion. One person is eager to define the relationship and the other is still uncertain. The longer this goes on without a serious conversation, the more complicated things get, and eventually someone might decide to walk away because they're tired of waiting for clarity. At the heart of it all, the talking stage is a reflection of how we approach relationships in the modern world. We're more connected than ever before, but we're also more disconnected emotionally. The talking stage, in many ways, a byproduct of our digital age, where instant communication can create instant gratification, but it also leaves little room for real, meaningful connection. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of texting and social media interactions, but that can often overshadow the deeper, more meaningful conversations that are needed to build a real relationship. So, what's the solution? How can we make the talking stage less complicated? The answer lies in clear communication and setting expectations from the start. If both people are on the same page about what they want, whether it's something casual or more serious, then the talking stage doesn't have to be a confusing, drawn-out process. It's important to talk openly about feelings, be honest about intentions, and not be afraid to define the relationship when time feels right. If one person wants to move forward and the other doesn't, it's better to have that conversation sooner rather than later, to avoid wasting time and emotional energy. In the end, the talking stage doesn't have to be a complicated or frustrating part of dating. If we embrace honesty, transparency, and clear communication, it can be a natural and enjoyable way to get to know someone. The key is to stop overthinking, stop fearing rejection, and start having the conversations that really matter. Because when you're clear about what you want, the talking stage can be the first step towards something real, something meaningful, and something lasting. Thanks so much for watching, and if you've ever found yourself stuck in the talking stage, leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more videos on modern dating, relationships, and everything in between. See you next time. Take care.